end of 2025, Robin.
But another fun, exciting year.
You know, people that go to podcasts, escape reality and everything, and then they just come to you going, oh, what a great year. You're meant to bring the Christmas time jolliness.
They come here to talk about Warhammer.
Yeah, that's true.
The bleak, dark, always bad Warhammer universe. They know what they're getting into.
Well, roll off, Robin.
Oh, cool. Then I'll do the intro.
Well, I rolled a 3. What did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
No, I didn't see it.
I know.
I can't believe you.
Yeah.
Sneaky Skaven player.
I rolled an order dice.
Okay. Self-righteous sneaky player.
So, this is our end of year podcast where we're going to kind of be looking back at everything we've done, sort of Age of Sigmar for the past year, and kind of how we think the channel's gone and things like that. And then we're going to have a quick look into what we're kind of hoping for next year, and maybe speculate on a few things.
A whole year ago, All-Out AOS did not even exist.
Yeah, so we've not even been running for a year.
No.
And while we're not like massively successful, I think we are further along than I was expecting.
A lot further than I was expecting. I affected like
I was expecting
10 subscribers, 3 of which are probably like our various accounts.
Yeah.
And the odd view here and there. Yeah, I think obviously we both have a passion for Warhammer. So I think it is combining that with our kind of love of creating things and videos, and I really enjoy editing for the most part.
Thanks to everyone listening and everyone who subscribed. It might not seem like a lot, but it's a lot to us, and which obviously we just want to start off by thanking you. And
yeah, and it's always nice when we get like comments and we see new subscribers and views. That always gives you like a little boost, so you know why you want to do it and keep doing it. So yeah, so huge thank you everyone.
Yep. Our WhatsApp is just me and Duncan
numbers
incrementally sending each other the number of the subscribers as it goes up.
I do worry for the day we lose a subscriber and have to send you one that's 1 minus.
Yeah, that would be a little disheartening, I guess.
It's gonna come. So in this year for our own sort of play, I would say we've probably done around 12 tournaments, competitions, maybe put leagues in as well, maybe up to 15.
Yeah, I think you've done slightly more than me because there was a few that I fortunately had to miss for work.
So obviously we've done the Quest Night at Warhammer World. I think I've missed 2 this year, so I've done 10 of them.
I think I've also missed 2.
Yeah, so almost 1 a month. We've completed a whole league at our local store.
I won that league.
You just put that in there. Yep. I was going to come on to that, Robin, and build it up
No,
rather than just go, yeah, I won.
Oh, well, yeah.
It was a league I won. Quest I won.
I have not won Quest this year,
Not this
technically. Didn't you do 1 or 2 just normal Spearhead tournaments?
I've done 1 normal Spearhead tournament.
Yeah, I have
at
not.
Warhammer World.
I have not done any.
This year. And did we do one
did
at
2
Warhammer
pretty much
World,
close.
and then we did one that was like you could either book on for 1 day or for 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did both the days of that. So we had 6 games across a weekend, which mentally is pretty tough.
That is a pretty tough day. Even for us that haven't got to go. Well, I suppose it's a good 40-minute drive there and back. It does make it a very long day.
Yeah.
Across 2 days. I still really enjoy them, though. I like 2 days more than 1 day because I feel like in a 1-day tournament, you can get unlucky in your first game and match up with someone who was always going to win and just get absolutely smashed. And then still in your second game, then get matched up with someone who's still really, really good.
They just had a really good opponent in their first one.
So you could essentially play like 1st place and 5th place just because that's how it worked. And then your 3rd game is the only one that's sort of your skill bracket. But then if by the time you're in the second day, that the chips have already fallen at that point and you're playing who you're meant to play for the most part. Yeah. Don't do what I do and just do really well at the beginning and then go, oh, I got such a bad second day. Everyone's so much better than me.
But then you've had a good first. It's always weird. Obviously, if we've yet to go to event and 5-0. So we're not like there. But if we come out with a positive win ratio, I think the best, both pretty happy.
The best I've ever done is 3 out of 5.
Yeah, same.
But my issue is I do it the right. Duncan does it the right way. He loses at the start.
I don't intend to.
And then wins towards the end, so it looks well. I tend to win at the start and then get absolutely smashed, so my points difference is massive. And then I end up coming really, really low.
Well, I think the funny thing is, I think a few of the tournaments we've done, so we've literally been like, I don't know, maybe 80 people there, and then we came like I
Came
don't know.
next to each other
We came next to
twice.
each other somehow, and I was like, "How is that even possible?" I personally, I mean, I know this is a spearhead like centered podcast, but if we're talking all of AOS, I've not enjoyed this season of the full rules.
I have.
I thought I would because the last one I always had the issue of the first turn was always a bad turn. If you've got a slow army, which I just collect, is your two options are you hope you get good charges and you do not waver for your first tactic. You take the flanks, which I almost always can't do, and you seize the center, which you end up just putting yourself in the middle of the board and just waiting to be charged.
Yeah. You've
And
either got to full commit for that, or hope you've got enough stuff that's just like to kill that. It's not the end of the world, I guess. But
And so all you start off your games were basically the same. So when I heard they were doing you get to choose your own tactic cards, so you could build it around how you build your army. I was like, brilliant, because there'll be some that will be, kill units and stuff, and I can kind of go, well, or hold objectives, and I'll go, right, I'll just pick those ones. But even on pretty much all of them, I found that they are still so much dominated by movement and cavalry.
yeah, unfortunately, Age of Sigmar is a game where movement's very important, and it'll probably always be very important.
Which I don't mind, but I was just hoping some more of the card, because the one card that is basically just kill things is the treasure.
Yeah.
But people can just be like, great, my treasure's on these 3 backline wizards. You've got no teleporting. I'm going to put everything else in front of them. You're not scoring those cards.
And if you are, you've already won anyway, so what's the point?
And there's nothing you can do about it. So I've struggled with this season.
I have faster armies, so I've been loving it. I think it obviously adds a nice bit of variety to it. Unfortunately, it has kind of boiled down to basically people just pick the same 3, and occasionally someone maybe builds a list that works for one of the others, because unfortunately not all tactics are equal. Some of them are much easier and much more doable than others.
Yeah, so part of me is quite happily prepared for next season and hope that they change things around a bit for the tactics. That would make me happy.
Yeah, Sand and Bone was a nice inclusion to Spearhead as well.
Part of me did worry, how long are they going to keep going?
Yeah, there's always that worry. But I think Spearhead's been popular enough that they can offer support. It might not get a refresh every 3 or 4 months where they shuffle stuff about, but I would be happy if every year we got a new board and pack of cards and just a little bit of support throughout the year.
Yep, and as long as every time a new army gets an update, they bring out a new spear. Because I mean, obviously with Sand and Bone, you got 4 new lots of spearheads, which is really nice. But as long as each army gets one, I'd be quite happy, really.
I'm waiting for that Kraken Eater in the Suns when they get it. I mean, they've either got to just let you have one big one, or they've got some plans for some more medium-sized to small-sized giants in the giant army that will be in the new box.
Well, shall we go on to it then? Shall we go on to 2026? What are the spearheads that we are really hoping to see? If you want to go first on.
So yes, Suns. I would. Whether or not I'm looking forward to it is a up for debate, but I'm really interested to see what they do with the Giants' second spearhead. I would be disappointed if they just went, here's your 3 giants with a new set of rules.
I suspect that's what they'll do.
Maybe I wouldn't mind it if they maybe did more giants but not reinforced. Say 5 giants. That would feel like a completely different spearhead. Whether or not that would be too powerful,
that's my initial.
You would obviously be very strong at the start, or maybe you start with 3 and then you get one in the 4th, and you get one in the something like that.
Yeah, that would. I was about to say, I'm just picturing 5 giants smashing into you at the start, but you start with 3, and then you get 1 in the second, back to round 1 in the third,
something like that.
Yeah, or 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth.
That would be I don't know. I'm intrigued by them for the simple fact of I genuinely don't know what they can do.
I think you've obviously also got to think about the fact that value-wise, there can't be 4 giants in a box that's costing.
Oh yeah, true. There is that.
They've still got to think of this is the spearhead box, which are all around the same price, and that's what you get. Just don't think spearhead works for one model. So my worry for you is,
I mean, you'd have to give them some kind of special rules where they can contest more than one objective at a time.
But even then, take the flanks.
Yeah, there would just be cards. It would literally have to be where any time you are required to do 2 things, you only need to do 1.
Or obviously the other possibility is you get new giants, new models.
Yeah.
and it is another unit of
smaller ones, or maybe 2 medium ones.
Yeah.
2 20 health units, something like that. People have been on about for ages for giants of getting like a female giant, like a queen giant.
That'd be pretty cool.
Maybe she could be the medium-sized model.
Roderta.
Yeah, something like that. Definitely interested to see what they do, because I can see it either be really impressive or incredibly lackluster.
Guess what my one is, Robin?
Nurgle.
Fire Slayers.
Yeah.
Well, we know we're getting the Nurgle one. Obviously, we'll hopefully, as soon as that comes out, I still need to buy 3 Nurglings.
Yeah.
So,
what do you want in it? A Magmadroth and a couple?
Magmadroth, couple of units, a little hero, sorted.
Yeah.
And 2 Magmadroths.
3. Why don't you make it 3?
Well, let's just make it my sons. They've got 3. No, but just basically their get started box.
Yeah,
if they go
their
back
old
to
box.
that, I will be so happy. I'll be really, really disappointed if their second spearhead is just look at these
bunch of guys dwarves. Again. I mean, it'd be interesting if you got they actually mixed it up a little bit, and you got 2 squads of shooters and 3 combat guys, 2 maybe your generic ones and a better combat one.
I still moan because I've not got a Magmadroth, but I will be happy with that. And again, like I was just saying about the Suns, if they get new models and we get a cavalry unit or something different, that will be excellent.
There is rumours you're going to get medium-sized
Magmadroths. Brilliant. I love if that's true, I'll be so happy. But yeah, that's all I'm hoping is just that they get a second spearhead that is a variation rather than not basically the same models. That is my one wish for the year.
Any other spearheads you'd kind of be?
So, obviously, think of ones that haven't got a second one. So, you've got Daughters have got 1. Tzeentch has only got 1. Lumineth's only got 1. Obviously,
do you think any army's going to get 3? And if you do, well, yeah.
If they aren't the ones with the 3rd spearhead first, I don't know what's happened. There's a load of rumours that Ogre Moor tribes are getting new molds
after Nurgle.
So surely they should get a new spearhead, but they've already got 2.
So it would be really ironic if because they are the oldest models, if they were the ones to get a 3rd spearhead. Because there was also last year, in this season, they retired 2 different armies.
So they can't. Obviously, there was the
Bone Splitters.
Bone Splitters, which were a part of Uruk War clans.
Yeah.
So there was 3 parts: Ironjaws, Cruelboys, and them, and they retired them. So they weren't necessarily an individual army part of that. And obviously, they got rid of Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah, and there was a little talk on maybe ogres. Obviously, they didn't.
It would be a big shame for destruction if you only get 3 choices.
Yeah. That might be the reason why, because they were like, well, but we'll see. But yeah, you're probably right. It's probably going to be Stormcast that gets a 3rd one. Or maybe Skaven. I guess it would depend on what's the next season's Skaven type box will be.
Yeah. So obviously, Hellsmiths have only got 1.
Yeah, they probably won't get another one for a bit.
Out, and their books, everything's else come out. Cruelboys have only, again, Uruk War Clan, if you class of it, they've got 2. Cruelboys have 1. Ironjaws have 1. Sylvaneth have got 1. So there's a lot of Order armies I've just read there. So there's a lot of ones that I would like to think will get new ones this year. And out of all of them, I would like to see Lumineth Realm Lords. Because again, their box is a lot of infantry ones.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they got a bit of variation.
Again, I don't really know a massive amount of Lumineth. I only played them once or twice in Spearhead, so I'm not the most up to date on them.
Obviously, taking Tzeentch in the last Spearhead quest, I'll be very happy if they get one that's actually competitive. I would quite like to see this year that the ones that do get a second Spearhead get maybe more monsters or more big things in it.
Yeah, so I would like some more variation.
I think that would be nice. Again, I feel like that's tricky because you can't overpower an army. But Lumineth have got some nice monsters. Obviously, if the Fire Slayers get Magmadroths.
Yeah, but I feel like, as we've said, the new Spearheads go for a theme.
You mean Warcry units?
Well, that Warcry units. They go for a theme, and they kind of, the new cities is a shooting army, and the Deepkin one is a cavalry army, and your Beast of Nurgles is a bad one.
We don't know. I hope not, because I'm going to have to take it to Quest just because.
So all the new ones, the later new ones at least, And like the Blades of Corn one are all around the dogs. So it depends what they're doing with that. I feel like they're going more thematic with the spearheads over less necessary trying to make the best possible one they can, which is fine. Maybe they need to start retiring some of the older ones. It would suck to a degree, but
it would suck. But I've got two things with that. The first thing is I do think that would help balance it out because the old ones are just so good.
Yeah.
That when we've recently kind of done games against the new ones, they've really, really struggled. But the magazine that's coming out for it,
yeah,
I'm guessing that'll take maybe like 2
years,
to all
probably
come
longer.
out. Imagine someone being halfway through their magazine and being told, well, actually, those models aren't playable now. That whole spearhead that you're still waiting another 3 months for, you can't even use. So I do think that they may be tied a little bit.
But then on the flip side of that, the magazine isn't Games Workshop.
It's not, but surely if you were the magazine organizer, you'd be like, you're not going to make these null and void, are you, in the next year? And I'm like, no.
Who knows?
But I would feel like...
I mean, I wouldn't say they're going to make them... They wouldn't retire them now. They might retire them when the next season starts, middle of next year. That's the earliest they would look at. That's when I would hope that we're getting a new board and a new set of cards and things like that. And
I think they probably have to. You won't probably be able to buy those older boxes at some point. You'll only be able to buy the newest boxes. If every single army has had their new Spearhead box, you're probably not selling the old Spearhead box much anymore.
Probably not.
So I would be surprised if it lasted more than the next update.
I think they're good for another year.
A year and a half.
Yeah,
because the update
they'll survive this season. Every Spearhead will get 2. And then maybe they'll go, here's your 3rd Spearhead. The Unastra one is now retired. So everyone has 2. They always have 2. And every time they bring a new one out, they retire an old one. That would maybe work.
I could foresee that happening.
But maybe they won't, because it's more of a casual thing. Maybe they'll just, in 10 years' time, we'll have like 600 Spearheads.
I mean, I would love that. Because part of me does worry. We've really bought into Spearhead. If they do go, all these models that you've painted, glued, put together, I've got videos battling. They're gone. They're all gone.
I mean, here's the thing. Games Workshop can do whatever they want. As much as we go, don't buy the books because the books are out of date. You've got the book. They'll be online somewhere.
Yeah.
You just use them.
You do.
Maybe you can't take them to a tournament, but you can still use them. We probably still will. What are we hoping for like the next board? So we keep saying they're going to do one. If they do one, what do we want?
Fire and Jade, Sand and Bone, Water and Sky.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be pretty cool.
Maybe one where the sky one, you're like fighting in the clouds, so like twists gotta end movements on objectives. If you don't, you take D3 mortals for falling through the clouds or something.
That'd be pretty cool. I like that. Or if it's like water, some sort of ones about being too close to the edges where you get swept away or something. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Something that means you having to move to the middle sort of thing.
Something that changes the game, the way you play.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think there's much more you could do with the objectives.
So obviously the big change from Fire and Jade to Sand and Bone were less objectives because one of them's only got 4.
Yeah.
And then in one of them they have a really big one and the other ones are smaller, which I think is a nice, just small change. I think personally I'm hoping for better mystical terrains.
Yeah, they were a little disappointed.
Because I like the 1-to-hits, and especially if I'm using something that hits on 4s, I think that's been really good.
Maybe a terrain feature that if you go within 3 inches of it, it attacks you.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Just like our wizard stats or something.
Yeah.
It gets like 4 attacks at 4s and 4s, 1 ren, D3 damage. Something like that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Anything that kind of makes you change what you're doing, and rather than just like, here's the board, I move up and move down.
Or like you say, maybe the middle of the board has an effect, -1 to saves, and that could change throughout the rounds. So it's like in the first round, it's +1 to hits for everything in it. Second round, it's -1 to saves. Something like that. Like a big ore in the middle.
Yeah.
Like a big central objective that does that. Something like that. That could be fun.
I think I hope for ones that have lots of objectives not centered around the middle. Because I do just feel like sometimes then you just end up with a big smash up in the middle.
Yeah.
You want that reward for being not just there. Something that I quite like the idea that, I don't know, the water's up, so you've got slower half your movement or something. And
Yeah, that's what I'm more thinking.
yeah,
It'd be nice to have one where maybe the twists are less impactful. They're just sort of like, I don't know, but like maybe just like a little bit of healing or -1 to hit on an objective. But the thing that changes is this battle round does something, this battle round does something. So it's all planned, so you know what's coming up, but that affects the gameplay.
yeah,
It adds like another element of sort of going, well, I know I'm going to struggle in the third and fourth battle round with what's coming up. Maybe it's +1 to rend or it's -1 to save or whatever. So I need to be aggressive at the start.
yeah.
Or like you say, well, I'm going to do better at the end, so I need to make sure I've got my stuff left. Things like that.
Just something that just changes it up. You don't just want a new board without any real change of how you play it.
You don't want a white and blue fire and jade board.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So as long as something really spices it up and changes, that's my hope. I'd be really happy with that. Maybe different terrain features as well. The other two have basically been the same.
Yeah.
One long, one short. Maybe, I don't know, different shaped ones a bit more.
I think give them abilities. Rather than just being basic terrain, maybe you can heal next to one, something like that. I know what you mean, but I don't know what you do shape-wise where it'd make any kind of difference. Maybe just one really long one.
My worry sometimes is, especially when you're on one that's you've got to be 6 away from other terrain features, and it's on the sand and bone side where there's one in the middle.
Yeah.
Setting them up is really restrictive, and you're like, well, I've not got a lot of choice. It's either that there, or just swapped over. That's it, just for fitting it. Whereas if you only had one, that probably wouldn't be too bad. But you just worry about the fact that it is just like, how many options do you have?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 smallish ones.
Maybe.
No long.
No long wall, just 3 small
just 3
ones
small
that
ones.
give -1 to hit instead of cover.
Yeah, or like
I mean, that would be a big boost to shooting armies, though.
Each one does something different. I don't think I've ever felt shooting armies are overpowered in Spearhead in general because of the fact that you can't sit back very easily unless you're playing double Spearhead. Listen to our podcast about that if you haven't already. And the fact you need to be up on objectives. And if they're a really heavy shooting army, you've not everything shoots, so nothing really wants to be doing that.
And I suppose quickly talking about doubles, that was a nice surprise at the end of the year that we just got doubles. I would love for them to maybe the next season released is a doubles one, where like potentially it isn't a small board, it's just a big board. It is the double size board. That would be interesting if they maybe did that. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will, but it is something that will be interesting. Or a expansion pack that made it 3-player.
3-player is hard to do.
I don't really enjoy 3 players because it's like when we used to play 3-player Risk. Is literally what would happen is you'd all set up, and one of you would attack one, and then they would be weaker, and then either the other person would then team up with the weaker person and attack the other one, and it would just be the longest game in the world because no one would fully weaken because you'd be like, well, I can't make them too strong, or it is just 2 people team up on one until they're out, and then it's a big fight off.
Yeah.
But then you had a really good idea for that. That you were saying, well, maybe the twists are like not. So it's not like.
Basically, every tactic requires you to interact with both people. Again, I don't know how you do it, but essentially, for War of Attrition, you would need to kill one of each of your opponents. For Attack on 2 Fronts, you would need to take one objective from both of your opponents.
I don't know. I just thought that was a really cool idea, and kind of what I thought Spearhead is like it's not quite a board game, but it's their closest thing to it, apart from the quests ones now.
Yeah.
But you could find a way that you can get 3 people playing it in a way that works. I think obviously that's maybe what they've looked at with the doubles, try and get 4 people playing.
So the nice thing about that is obviously you can just do a 2v1 kind of thing.
So I know people who've done basically the doubles that we played, and they basically had 2 people on one side and 1 person on the side using 2 armies, and they put the 2 boards together, and that's how they played, which is very similar to what it is. So you can do that.
That's kind of what we're hoping for Games Workshop. What are we hoping for the channel then, Duncan? 1 million subscribers?
Yeah, by about February.
I mean, to be fair, We grew slowly at the start, and ever since we got towards 100, we seem to be growing quite fast now. Again, fast is relative, but faster than I thought we were. So I'm hoping for...
So is this your prediction for the end of 2026?
Yeah.
Because in a year's time, I think our plan is to come back to this one and go, how many of these things actually, how many of those armies actually got spearheads and were they any good? But how many of our sort of plans have we managed to achieve?
So I'm torn between two. I don't know whether or not to be ambitious or more realistic. I think we've been going for, 3-4 months now, ish, depending on how you want to look at it. And we've got 125. So if you do it again, if we keep at this pace, we should get about another 500. So that would put us at about 600-700. So I'm going to be ambitious, and I'm going to aim for 1,000 by 2026.
I like that. I like that's the ambitious one. I'm glad you didn't say that. There's a realistic one.
Well, I was like, realistic one, I was going to go with 500. So I'm going to be ambitious and aim. Our goal for 2026 is 1,000.
I mean, I think videos like this are really weird because obviously at the start you probably don't go very quickly because you've not got any videos, you haven't got much traction to keep going. The more you get, the more you get.
Yeah.
The more people, the more it gets pushed up searches and everything. So hopefully that our sort of slow rise that's slightly sped up will just keep going or slightly speed up a little bit more. So if we get to 1,000 by the end of the year, I'd be ecstatic, really. Yeah. I mean, our original plan was just we want to get enough to the fact that we can actually do things like live videos.
Yeah.
And things like that. You're restricted. You got to have so many subscribers and so many views on different videos to be able to do that. That's kind of the...
Like, we really want to start setting up polls because we want to sort of ask you guys, what spearheads do you want us to do? We want to kind of be like, this is what we're thinking about taking to Quest. What would you like for us? But it's very hard to do it at the minute with what we've got set up. If we could just chuck a poll up, unfortunately that's 500 and we're a little bit off that, but that's like the first goal. So that's kind of what we're hoping to get sooner rather than later, so we can kind of give you guys what you want to see.
And we are lucky that we are just two people. If enough of you are just like, we really like these videos, and that's kind of what we can swerve and make. We're not restricted to anything at all other than our time management capabilities. But we can kind of see what you're enjoying and what you're not, and then try and do more of what you're enjoying, really.
And obviously we're looking at I'll call it a studio, looking at potentially upgrading the studio a little bit. We should be able to get a little bit more space, and obviously with a bit more space we might be able to get a bit more equipment in, because you may or may not see them in the videos, but we've just got like stuff everywhere cobbled together at the minute to make things work. It would be nice to get things properly set out with proper spaces and things like that.
I think my goal as well is that we are called All-Out AOS. So obviously Spearhead is an area that we do a lot on and we really enjoy. Yeah. But obviously our ideal plan is to be all of Age of Sigmar. Yes. So be able to provide videos and information on the full game, on Underworlds, maybe like Warcry, kind of adding extra bits. Obviously part of that is financial. Yeah, that will cost a lot of money to do, and the time that we've got. But that's kind of our plan, is as we kind of expand that we can dedicate more to
other areas.
Yeah, so that's the plan. We just want to expand and do more of everything rather than cut down anything. So I think that'll be my plan. Is if by the time we do this end of year podcast next year, that we can say that we've at least started on expanding those different areas as much as we can.
Yeah, comments sort of let us know what you would like to see from us.
I think one goal for the end of the next year is that we own every single spearhead out. I think that's one goal, because I think we're currently on maybe like
only over half.
I reckon we probably got maybe like 25 out of 39. Obviously there'll be more have come out, but if we've got all of them, even if they're not all assembled, but we just own all of them, that would be nice to be able to say you've got.
And then they retire half of it.
Please don't do that.
So yeah, that's sort of our goals. And win more games, obviously.
We've kind of come up with a bit of an idea for 2026 that we're going to try and do what we're calling an overarch quest.
Yeah, just a yearly quest.
That will accumulate across the year. We'll take a bit of bookkeeping.
Good luck with that, Duncan.
Cheers, Robin. But we're going to try and see who achieves the most of these.
We might give different points values to certain ones that we deem slightly harder or not, but we're also potentially looking for input from you guys if you can think of anything good that'd be nice to add to it. But we were trying to think of like really rare occurrences in Spearhead games and sort of stuff that we can kind of work towards. So just some of the examples we've got so far are
Score 30 points in a game, which is, as we said, very rare to do. I've don't think I've ever done it, so that will be quite an achievement.
I have done it once in a video that is probably going to come out in 2026.
So if you're watching a video and Robin's starting off very well, you might be that video.
Yeah, we're probably going to put a disclaimer that was not scored then, but
we've got get a 7-game winning streak. These are only battles on the channel because we think we've both probably done it away from the channel, but
yeah, I think we've done it where we've like won 2 on the channel and then like gone to our league and won like a couple and then done quest night. But these are all stuff that are going to happen on camera.
We've got come back from 10 points behind and win.
Yeah.
Again, feels like a tough one, but it also feels like at least if we're playing a game and you're losing the game, you can go, well, I'm losing, but if I come back and win this, I'll achieve that quest.
Yeah, another thing was like trying to think of stuff that makes us do stuff a little out of the norm. So that like, might be like, say, you're 9 points behind, you go, well, I might just drop that extra 1 point and see if I can have an amazing comeback. We'll see.
We've got, well, I know which one of these you're doing because we've got on a roll of 6 dice or more, roll all 6s and roll all 1s. So I'll do the 6s one, you'll probably do the 1s one.
Yep. So when I attack with Clown Rats and roll 21s.
If that doesn't go viral, I don't know what will. We've got failed 10 charges in a game that has 7 inches or less distance.
Yes, we kind of put that 7 inch just to make sure that we can't just be like, turn 1, I charge my whole army. They're all 12 inches. I fail 6 charges.
And again, I've got a feeling you'll achieve that one, Robin, knowing
probably.
your charge record.
You could have done it 3 inches or less. I'd still do it.
Win a game on all different board setups. So obviously, and there might be more by the end of the year, actually, thinking about it, but there are currently 4 different sides of the board, but there are also the different deployment areas, diagonal or horizontal.
So there's 8 possible setups for the game. So it might force a defender to potentially, if they're on 7, just go, it's not advantageous for me now to do deploy in the corners, but I haven't done that one yet.
Or it might make you choose to be the defender so that you can get that choice if you know you're only a few away and you want to try and do it. So yeah, hopefully that makes the games a little bit different. We've got, for our doubles games, win a game with every Grand Alliance pairings.
Yep, so order and chaos, order and destruction, order and death, chaos and destruction, so forth and so on. I think that one might be the hardest just because we're not entirely sure how many doubles we're going to do this year.
No, so you've really got to win your games when you do doubles, basically. And that will be very interesting. We've got win the roll-off and choose to be the defender 10 times.
Yeah, that is typically something we never do.
If you've watched our videos, I hardly think we've ever chosen to be the defender.
I think I've done it like twice, maybe.
So that just forces that different type of game, that different strategy with your play. We've got one that actually comes from Warhammer Quest Night, which we've never done, which is table your opponent by battle round 3, and that does include all reinforced units.
I think that's just the type of one where you just need the right army against the right army. I almost got it once, and then my Storm Fiends failed me like a 4-inch charge.
So yeah, we'll see if we can do that one. That might be a very tricky one. So if you, like Robin said, if you have any ideas for other ones, or we might have a little think before the start of 2026 to see what we might add on to that. But those are the ones we're going to aim for. Yep. And we're going to try and maybe keep a little tracker up as our games go on to see how well we're doing with all of those, see how far we're getting. But I really look forward to when you do all your 6 ones in a row.
Probably.
You'll achieve that by January. That's my prediction.
Probably. Right. Well, outro, Duncan.
Yeah, I'm going to be boring, Robin, and just be like, I hope everyone has a really nice end of 2025.
Boo.
And
Boo.
2026 is a really good year for everyone. I just said good cheer. And we will see you in 2026.
Maybe.
Yes. Well, if we're going to do all the things we just said we need to do, we need to be here for 2026.
Who knows?
We split apart like a boy band. go solo.
Oh, I'm not going solo. Too much work.